It looks like you're in Brooklyn today.
Yes. What are you on my hot pursuit?
I'm on your tail, and I got my little book, my little notebook, and I'm taking
You,
notes.
taking notes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This was yeah, I mean that's what the movie's about, right? Attention to detail
Paying
and
attention,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
asking the right questions.
Asking the right questions and leaning into stereotypes when it's appropriate.
Which leads me to, am I the Reese or am I the Sophia? Which one are you?
Okay. It's like, well, they kind of morph into the same person by the end.
No, literally. Hey, everyone at home, we're Star Vehicle, we're Side of God. I can't stop laughing at how we both had a hard time with this one.
This was a tough movie to consume, almost as tough as Four Christmases, which
Almost.
ironically was another Reese Witherspoon vehicle, but this was tough. This was tough to watch. And
And
it's also one of the shortest movies we've ever done.
when I saw the 87-minute runtime, I said, thank the Lord, because I got a lot going on this weekend. I got a
So
lot to do. I'm
busy.
so busy.
Plus you -5 for the credits, but luckily we were able to -7 because there were 7 minutes of bloopers.
So it was
So
a
it's
tight
80
80.
minutes.
This
80
movie
minutes.
was a quickie, but it didn't feel
Like
like it.
like the mother was like 2 hours and it felt like 10 minutes. Like it was a blip. Like blink and it's over.
I
This
know.
was 80 minutes and I felt like I've been watching it for days.
Literally same. I had to
I was
turn it
ready to
off.
wave a white flag out of my apartment. Like
I did.
I give up.
You know you're in trouble. I don't know if this is like how. This is my tell. I'm in trouble
Yeah.
when I keep pausing it to like do stuff. And
Mm,
so I consumed this movie in like 8 separate parts.
yeah.
And that's tough. It's a tough, you can't really
I
string
try
together the
to
narrative.
I know. It's funny because every things do happen a lot in the movie and they keep introducing new characters. So it is a confusing watch if you're not paying attention. But it
Yeah.
also fights you because it also doesn't want you to pay attention. Because I didn't turn it off, but I did every time it shifted to a new scene, I would make a quick mental like calculus. I was like, "Oh, I don't have to pay attention to this one.
Same.
I'll look somewhere else."
Wait, I would do that too. I
And then I
woke
would
up.
I would look back and I was like, "Who is this person?
It's
What
like
is
I
going
guess I
on?"
guess I really did need my eyes open. Um
Yeah.
I like I said, I was starting and stopping it so many times. I woke up this morning to watch some of it, and I was watching some of it with my eyes closed. I'm just like, listen.
You were resting your eyes is what you were doing. You
I
were
was
resting
resting
your
my
eyes.
eyes, and I'm listening, and then I realized I did myself a real disservice because you're right. You open your eyes and you're like, who is this? Like,
Yeah,
why
yeah,
are they
yeah.
here?
It does put you in the shoes of the women because you do feel like you've been yanked around. You don't feel like you're on cocaine. No, we don't know what that's like,
We don't know
but
what that's
it's
like.
like we don't
Blow your
know.
nose.
Yeah. But it did have the feeling of like, what? Where are we?
It was really jarring. So what I'm saying is, watch this movie with your eyes closed. It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
It's more
It's like
fun
a
that way.
roller coaster. You still can get off and say I wrote it, even if your eyes were closed. No one knows. Just open your eyes for the picture. That's all.
I cannot believe I thought I could like watch this with my eyes closed this morning. It was really bad. I'm like,
Going into it, I was kind of excited to watch it because I'd never seen it, and I really thought to myself, how bad could this be? I mean, it's 2015. That's pretty modern for us.
no, that's very modern for
Very
us.
new age, and I thought by 2015 we would have moved on from some of the like stereotypes and the tropes that we saw in this. I thought
Yeah.
um, but in the same breath, I do think they missed an opportunity to either go one way or the other.
Oh, I'm excited to hear.
Like,
My theory on this movie is very Bride Wars. I think they wrote it in '03. No, it's not
mhm,
that dated. But like they wrote it
no,
earlier and then I think they got it made later and they were like, who do we have that we can really just make fun of? And it was like Sofia Vergara. is
Yeah.
pick Modern Family, you know?
Well, there was like it did remind me, because I never watched Modern Family, but this was also the same age where we were being littered with think pieces. It's like, are we laughing with Sofia Vergara or are we laughing at Sophia?
Yeah, and she seemed to be fine with the joke at the time because she's laying on the accent, which she does. She does it.
Yeah, but this movie, it's a shame because it really does want you to laugh at her.
Yes.
And it doesn't allow you to laugh with her. And I do, by the way that the movie ends, which is that Reese Witherspoon puts on a pair of heels and she's finally a woman, which is the theme of the movie.
It is.
I did think there was a missed opportunity here. Hot Pursuit. The title actually doesn't make any sense for the movie.
No, none.
But the ladies are hot. That's what they're telling us.
They're telling us one is.
One is, and the other one's a boy.
She's a boy with a mustache.
Yeah. And I did think that it could have been an interesting concept if it was... They could have left the title the same, or they could have made it like The Pursuit of Being Hot. And it was like...
Okay,
and it was like,
I see
like Sofia Vergara dragging Reese Witherspoon around, notoriously ugly Reese Witherspoon,
the troll of Hollywood. See, we're really relying on this shorthand that just didn't exist for Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
Didn't make sense.
And it wasn't like one character was like, "Oh, you're not my type." It was like everyone saw her and they're like, "Ew."
They couldn't attack her looks in the same way that they could attack Sofia Vergara for that like low-hanging fruit of whatever, her accent or whatever. Yeah. So they had to like stretch for the Reese stuff.
And I remember there was one line though where Sofia Vergara, after Reese has put on like a dress or something, she just looks at her, she goes, "Oh, look at your arms." I was like, she's like, "They're so thin." I was like, what?
It's kind of like we can't win as women, you know. It's just like in one movie.
Here we go.
Plug your ears, Steven.
Yeah.
Steven's really, he's retaliating full body. We can't win. In one movie, Kate Hudson's a fat whale.
Oh, yes.
In this movie, Reese Witherspoon's
iconic
too skinny.
Whale.
Another woman that in the dictionary of whale.
Yeah.
Kate. It's just like, which one is it? Should we be thin or should we be fat? They're making fun of Reese Witherspoon's skinny arms the whole time.
Yeah, she's too small is the joke.
The one joke I absolutely thought was very funny, they bring it back 3 times, is each time they're being reported on, Reese's character's height is being reported as shorter. Yeah. Like she's 4'11", she's whatever. And Sofia Vergara gets older.
Which I thought was actually the most intelligent part of the movie.
It was the smartest part.
It was the smartest writing. Smartest writing we've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where I was hoping the two women,
please.
Sorry, two actors would look at each other and say, "Enough of this S word. We're gonna be hot regardless."
Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, we're in the pursuit of being hot.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts that they went for like this ugly and this dichotomy that didn't exist.
Exactly.
Ugly, and sexy.
Well, it's like their personalities were enough to be the dichotomy, right? Like we didn't need to then say, "Oh, and in case you didn't realize they're different, she's ugly."
Yeah. Because they really harp on Reese Witherspoon's personality. Like, right off the bat, this Star Vehicle starts the way we love.
I thought actually from the first 10 minutes, I thought, we're in for a real treat here.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun because it actually started pretty interesting. Because we start with a montage.
Mm-hmm. Give a kid a gun.
Give a kid a gun. And we see that all of Reese's core childhood memories take place in the back seat of
a cop car.
A paddy wagon. So it's like...
You calling it paddy wagon?
Of the paddy wagon. And they're in the back. And Reese...
Not okay.
Reese is there. And she's absorbing information from her dad.
Absorbing, good word. Yes.
Yeah,
she really is.
First of all, no mom in sight. Never hear about her.
Oh my God, no. Dad died, not mom. Haven't heard of her.
Yeah. Great point. Yeah, we know that the dad dies eventually, but we don't know anything about the mom, right?
Not at all. Mom's never mentioned.
So she's dead.
Reese's character's having all these like very formative experiences in the backseat of the car. I do believe she starts with a water gun and graduates.
Yeah, I mean that's how you start a child, right? You give them the water gun and you show them how it works, and then you graduate to a real gun.
That's how it worked for me. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's how it works. And we see that she lives her whole life in the backseat.
Literally. Start to finish, because then like she's grown up.
She never leaves.
No, she lives there.
She lives there, and we see that what we're supposed to learn is that she only wants to learn how to be a police officer.
Yes, that's what we're supposed to glean from those frames. That's all she cares about. Just being a cop.
Just being a police. And what's interesting is that, I mean, I don't know how to say this. You know, okay, here's how I can say it. It's not as if she needed that experience to become a police officer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
That's where it didn't really make a lot of sense, because none of the other people that were at the police station, were in the back seat with her growing up. So
left to assume they had pretty normal childhoods and then chose.
Right. And then you would think someone whose whole, in this Serena and Venus Williams, they had tennis rackets in their hands as kids. They were pretty good.
Yeah.
At 16.
Yeah.
She basically makes a huge mistake on her first day.
She probably didn't even need to be living in the backseat of that cop car.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you know what? Maybe it actually wasn't helpful. It was too much.
You needed other life skills.
It's like when people go on Survivor and they're massive fans and then they blow it because they over strategize and they overplay and then they get voted out. And then some dodo who's never seen an episode ends up winning. So it's like because we find out that her name, Cooper, right? Isn't that her name? It's become a slur, basically.
Around the precinct, Cooper's a slur.
Around the precinct, it's a slur.
They're scared.
they're like, oh my God, are you gonna do a Cooper? And then that's like, when Reese opens her mouth though, and we hear the accent.
The accent. Oh Whoa. My God. She's usually pretty great. Like the Sweet Home Alabama girl, know.
But she has an accent at rest. Right? So
I thought so. It's like a little twang, right? Reese Witherspoon is she's from Tennessee or something.
Yeah.
Right?
But the only thing I can think that they were trying to do was, try to balance out kind of the Sofia Vergara put on accent a little bit. Obviously, I know it is her accent, but it's pretty clear that she's also hamming some of the lines.
She's exaggerating it. I feel like the accent was supposed to be like adding to her ugly. It was like, she's Reese Witherspoon. She's like a little too hot. Let's make her even worse. Give her the worst voice ever.
Okay, but
I don't
where
know.
does this? No, I agree that it's meant because when she's repeating, almost like a person at church reciting their prayers.
Thank you for correcting yourself.
she's like, I think it's supposed to sound jarring, right? Like listening to her say 1044, but what was I?
It's
gonna
also
say?
Texas.
Okay, that was my question. Was that okay? So the early scenes when she's at the precinct, that's Texas, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what's strange is that none of the other people really have accents.
No, none of them. It's like Reese was just dropped there.
Right, like from Mars. So it's women are from Venus. Sorry, from Venus. So she's from Mars though.
Because she's weird and ugly.
She's a boy.
You're right.
So we hear her voice. It's very distracting. It's very put on.
Yes.
And we find out that on I guess her first day or relatively early on the beat, she heard a person say shotgun.
Shotgun. Yep.
And she shot them with her taser.
She assumed the worst. Shot them with a taser, and I was truly shocked at the scene.
Yeah.
I was like, in this world, that doesn't play anymore.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, this is a different age.
Literally,
okay?
2015.
2015, very different.
That's a mistake we can't see in a comedy anymore.
Right, because she gets to keep her job, she gets to keep her gun,
and she just gets like a funny cutie.
It's a big joke. It's
reputation
a big joke.
Around the precinct.
Yeah. It's a
Pulling
big
a Cooper.
joke. And they put her in the basement. And I guess she's responsible for logging evidence. And it's a wonderful opportunity for her male colleagues to call her a secretary.
Secretary, yes. Which works. That's evergreen. That joke works.
That's an evergreen joke.
That joke always works. Taser, not so much.
No.
Women secretary.
Calling women secretaries when they're not secretaries, funny.
You should have stuck to the desk, Coop. Literally. It was perfect. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
Is that pretty soon thereafter we catch her on a date?
Yeah. And honestly, we might have messed this up, but that might have been the first scene, but it doesn't matter.
It's just painting her character as, like I said, they can't really say Reese is super ugly, so they have to be like, check out this personality. It's terrible.
Well, exactly. It's like if she wasn't ugly enough, her personality is revolting.
Yes, seals the deal. And she is chasing Mike Birbiglia down the street, and we come to find out that she pulled a gun on him during their date.
Pulled a gun. And this is where I did think it was kind of funny, because this was pretty funny, where she was like, oh, I wasn't pulling a gun on you, I just wanted to make sure I could have a second date. And I was like, oh, that's, gun humor, we're used to that.
It's like when my mom would be like, I'm not going to use it, but go get me the wooden spoon. I want it on the table when you're doing your homework.
Right.
And I would just just looking at it, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, she's not going to shoot him.
Yeah, no. It's just a visual aid. Just a visual
aid. Yeah. And I bet some guys are like, oh, girl, woman, show me your gun. Let me see it.
Yeah, he could have asked. We don't know.
We weren't there. We don't know. But he's like,
you're intense, girl.
You're intense. Go. And that becomes a recurring message. Yeah. Is that something that's really unappealing for men is a woman who's intense.
For real. Yeah. She's too intense. But it's what we got in this movie. It's not what we deserved. It's what we got.
It's what we got. And then we see her check in with the waiter who makes her pay the bill. And we find out that this is not the first time. He says, I really thought that was going to go well. So if you're an inferential viewer like we are, you know that she's been here at that restaurant before.
Oh, she's been at this crossroads before. Yeah, poor girl.
Poor girl. So she basically has a demotion. She has no love life. But then she gets called into the kind of her boss's office, and he's going to give her a really exciting assignment.
Yes, and it is to babysit. That's what she's good for.
To babysit. So they need some testimony from this guy who is going to narc on this big drug dealer. And I guess according to some statute that she cites, there has to be a woman escorting women.
So weird.
She's like, oh, of course.
Yes. Statute number 44 whatever. I've got to go.
Which is like a really funny way of like making us feel comfortable with like with them requiring a woman
the leap that they're asking us to make.
But
we get okay with it.
By the way, she's thrilled. So
I know. So why am I complaining?
We're okay with it.
As long as she's happy,
She's happy. I'm happy. She's happy to go.
She's like, this is my big break, kind of. Like, this is my way to break out of the, I'm lame, I'm Cooper who pulled a taser on somebody. Coop.
Right. Because it seems like what they're saying is, if you can go and escort this woman with her husband to the courthouse by 8 a.m., the next day, and there's a funky use of time in the movie, but then you can basically get your job back, is what they're sort of implying to her.
Redemption.
And yeah, redemption. Very good.
Thank you.
Forgiveness.
I know I'm just a woman, but
yeah,
can use big words.
You're
sometimes.
Always a woman
to me.
We're
stretching on this one.
now I know I'm trying. She goes with this guy, this other police officer. Although I will say this doesn't seem like a task a police officer from a totally different town would be responsible for.
No, yeah,
right?
they're stretching left and right.
This seems like FBI. This seems like
big. This seems bigger.
This
drugs,
seems bigger than
cartels.
Having kind of the local secretary, call it like I see it, having to go and escort. And it's sort of like, it's a little bit unclear because she's working with a male partner, but they're both going to be escorting them together, but they have like separate cars. It doesn't make any sense. So they show up, but the whole thing is that in the past, every other witness has died because the drug king, another network that we were responsible for coming off of the mother. So many networks were responsible for understanding. He's killed all the other witnesses.
Yes.
And that's his choice.
Just like, okay, just give me the information. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's get the show on the
Please.
road. So, but
make something happen.
I do have a point. So anyway, the whole point is that they have to be discreet, okay? This is very slick.
Okay. So
the man who she's working with shows up kind of plain clothed, normal. Why is she wearing the police getup?
Full uniform.
Yeah,
she's intense. She takes her job seriously. She's excited to have like a mission.
I guess you're right.
She couldn't resist.
Yeah, she couldn't resist. And that's probably what the rules are, right? Like she has to wear that look. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So
she's intense and she loves it. She likes the outfit.
Yeah, she does like the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't, I think what they're telling us is she actually doesn't have any other clothes.
Probably true, because she grew up in the backseat of a cop car. Like, what other outfit would you have?
This is the only... Okay, that makes more sense. So
Open your eyes, Stephen.
Reese Witherspoon has no other clothing, so she has to wear a police uniform. And they go to this kind of... It was kind of nice house, actually. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. And they show up, and these two, Sofia Vergara and her husband, they're, late packers. They're still packing. And this part also was a little bit confusing, but it does make sense a little bit later why Sofia Vergara was doing so much packing.
Yeah.
But
she had an important suitcase to pack.
Yeah. She has an important suitcase to pack, and Reese Witherspoon, as soon as she walks in, Sofia Vergara throws a shoe at her.
Mm-hmm.
And Reese brushes it off. She's very forgiving about that.
Yeah.
She's like, you probably didn't see me. And Sofia Vergara's like, no, I saw you.
Yeah, I mean, the only two women in the film, a shoe needs to get thrown. So I was
put two women in a room.
Shoes will be thrown. I actually love we got like a lady fight like later in the movie too. It was so great.
Yeah.
I love when they wrestle.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see.
What do you think of their chemistry? I'm gonna sideline us for a second.
Okay.
It was kind of okay. I was kind of down.
For
a weird movie.
I feel like here's what it didn't make me feel awkward, right? Like I feel like they genuinely liked each other.
Yeah,
which
they were
I enjoyed.
buds. I was into that.
Like it wasn't a Vince Vaughn situation where you can clearly tell they hated each other.
Yes.
It had the energy of you say your line, now I say my line. You say your line, now I say my line.
Yeah, especially in the more comedic moments too, when you really do need them to just goof it up. Okay,
yeah, it's almost like it needed scenes where they would like interrupt each other and kind of have like a little bit more playful dynamic. But you know, Reese's character, she's intense, she's uptight. She probably wouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah,
So,
she can't improvise. No way.
yeah, she can't improvise.
No way.
So
okay, I had to ask because at times I'm like, it works, but you're right, it is a little scripted feeling. And we did kind of do this movie with the intention of comparing it to the other one, the Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy, The Heat.
yeah, another hot buddy cop.
I'm excited for that one because I feel like we're gonna get. I don't want to jinx it actually.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think part of it is that I never really watched Modern Family, so I don't really know. Like Sofia Vergara was not really.
She's considered comedic. Like she's considered a comedian. A comedian.
Yeah. But it definitely felt like in 2015, the movie had the energy of like Reese is on the decline, Sofia Vergara is on the incline.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sort of felt like Reese was hitching her star to Sofia Vergara. But in 2023, it's so different because Reese is now like...
We're flipped again.
We're flipped. Like if they were to do this movie, it would be an honor for Sofia Vergara to do the movie. But I feel like in 2015, it was an honor for Reese to do the movie.
Hitch that ride. Wow, right? You're really, oh my gosh, 2015. It's not even that long ago, but you're right.
Yeah, but it was different. It was different for Reese in 2015.
Times were different. Times were really different.
Yeah.
Secretary.
Women's stories matter. Women's stories matter.
Now
have you seen that clip?
Did Reese make that?
Yeah. They just matter.
Did you see she sold her company to like...
She did?
She sold her production company to like some huge conglomerate. And she's like, this is for women's stories.
Oh, yeah. She sold it to like BlackRock or something.
Yeah, like
right?
BlackRock. And it was like, this is a win for minorities and women.
She's like, I'm going to cash my check. Bye.
I got a family to feed. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I derailed us, but they're in the house and they're kind of like, let's go, girl. Like, we got to go. And they're packing. And Very the mother, we get into a shootout. Scary.
Very the mother. All of a sudden, we start hearing shots like bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Yes.
And Reese goes downstairs, and I actually thought the scene was pretty intense.
It was intense. It worked. And she's watching people die left and right, which we're pretty used to on Star Vehicle at this point. Like, we're very used to this. I'm desensitized.
Yeah, in the shootout, so there's a pair of men who walk in with clown masks. Scary.
I knew you were going to be scared of those masks.
I didn't like it. And then,
they were freaky.
And then another pair of gentlemen come in.
Yeah. This is a scene I tried to watch with my eyes closed. So when I opened my eyes,
that would be tough because it turns out this scene is very informative, and I didn't pay attention to like anyone's faces.
No, not at all.
So it's confusing because there's two sets of men who are there seemingly to kill the guy who's going to testify.
Yeah.
And they do.
And
they do kill him.
Done for quickly.
He's dead, and they kill Reese Witherspoon's coworker.
Yeah. He's down.
Dead. And she does a quick 1-2 pulse check, and he's dead.
Yeah. And then just leaves.
Yeah. But what's really funny is that like they're in the middle of a shootout. This is before he's dead. And Reese comes down. I mean, this guy literally has one person on his team, Reese. And as soon as he sees Reese with her gun, she's ready to go. He's like, "Get down." Shh. You're making too much. You're distracting me.
I think that we're supposed to glean like, she's overstepping. She's supposed to come and like literally babysit. And now we've got her weapon drawn. Literally
Yeah. Like it was almost like you were expecting her to like do a scene where she like closes her eyes and like squeezes the trigger, hoping it lands on one of the baddies.
It would have not been shocking to see that.
But it's weird. What happens in the scene is confusing because after these two groups of two shoot and kill the police officer and the guy who's going to testify, for whatever reason, they then both run outside.
Yeah. We're supposed to like just buy the choreography of it all.
Because one group, I think, leaves, like, after they shoot, and the other group follows them, I guess, to, like, shoot them up.
Mm-hmm.
But we still don't know what's going on with that. So Reese then leaves, and she goes looking
for Sophia, her little project. Yeah. She finds her.
Her little project.
And she finds her, they open a garage or something. She finds her in the car, in the back seat of like a beautiful vintage car. And that's our really first beautiful. Oh my God, gorgeous. And Reese is like, oh my God, like, you're my project. Like, I need to protect you. And
I want to get an A.
I want to get an A on this report. Honestly, maybe I just hated this character because it's me. You know, like, it's a little too close to home, honestly. You know, because I love an A.
Yeah, she wanted an A.
Yeah. And she's like, this is the first time I am commandeering this vehicle.
Just like that.
She commandeers many vehicles in this movie. Many.
Yeah, she commandeers a lot. And Sofia Vergara is always quick to remind her, like, it sounds dumb.
Yeah, you got to stop that, girl. Especially with your voice. It's grating. But they ride off. Worth noting, or who cares? My eyes were closed. Yeah. Reese clocks one of the guys has a wrist tattoo.
She does clock that one of the guys has a wrist tattoo. And in a lucky turn of events during the shootout, both the pair of guys that are outside, those two groups of two, like, both their cars, their tires has been shot. So that's why no one's chasing after them. Yeah,
they get away in the beautiful vintage car.
Yeah.
And we get like one of our first sight gags of the movie. Somehow they get pulled over, or they're pulled over and the car explodes in some white powder.
Yeah, they get hit by a truck. Or
sorry, my eyes were closed.
Either they get hit by a truck or they drive right into a truck.
Yeah, something like that. And white cloud. And we find out that the car's harboring baking powder.
It's harboring baking powder. A lot of baking powder. So much baking powder.
The screen goes white for a sec.
It's literally like Chernobyl. It's like everything is covered in soot.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I was shocked they didn't panic more. I was looking for more of like a book smart, like, don't breathe in. Don't breathe in. It wasn't really like that at all.
Yeah. Well, what I was hoping they leaned more into is I was hoping that Reese would truly not understand what it was.
Yeah.
As much. Like, I was really hoping she would believe that it was baking powder. And
just double down on it. Yeah.
Yeah, double down on it, because once Sofia Vergara says, like, oh, I told you, like, it's 15 kilos of baking powder.
Yeah.
And then Reese is like, she knows. I was kind of hoping they would let Reese, like, naively buy that it was baking powder and then, like, not understand why she was all jacked up.
Yeah, because I'm constantly confused by how good we're supposed to think she is at being a cop. It's like she's by the book, but she's bad at it. So she should not know.
Yeah, she's by the book. Yeah, it's
she wants weird. The A, but she's not very good in practice.
It sort of mirrors her journey on the baking powder, because she knows that she's sniffed some baking powder, but when she's riding the baking powder, it's almost like she's acting like she has no idea what's happening. It's weird.
I know. She's like, this is just something. Oh, she blames it on adrenaline. She goes like, I'm all hopped up on like fight or flight, and we gotta get some clothes, and what's most important is that they are affordable. Do you remember that? That was actually pretty funny. That was one of my favorite jokes in the whole movie.
I enjoyed her baking powder acting, because there and it was such a throwaway line, but the only line that I really laughed at this whole movie was when they were walking through the store. She does like a true bunny hop, and she's like, I've never jumped that high before.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought that was pretty funny.
In classic early 2000s fashion, which this is not, this is 2015, but I did also want a makeover scene there.
It feels younger. I mean, it feels longer ago than 2015.
Yeah, it feels like it was born a little younger than 2015.
Right.
I get excited when I hear the prospect of makeover because just my little early 2000s heart expands when I hear it.
Thank you. Like the pursuit of being hot. Here we go.
Here
like
we go. Double
let's
down.
give us transformation.
Yes. I don't know if you've ever seen Wicked, but there's that song Popular, and Glinda's like so excited to transform Elphaba into somebody hot. I wanted that energy. I was like, Sophia, dress her sexy, and let's get like a montage makeover.
Well,
because they need disguises. That's where we're at.
They need disguises, and you know, I don't think it would have even been much funnier. But if we're gonna have,
you're probably right.
Reese,
it wouldn't have been much funnier.
I know it wouldn't have been
at all.
But
we wanted it.
If they would have made Reese, right, the whole goal was like, let's get Reese to look sexy because then no one will know who it is.
Yes.
I was like, okay, but then what are we gonna do with Sofia Vergara because they're not really talking about her disguise.
Yeah.
So, you know, they should have made her almost like, let's Freaky Friday it. And like, let's make Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. Put her in the cop. Put her in the cop costume.
Yeah. Kind of like the ugly police officer.
Yeah. But they just make her hotter.
They just make her hotter with like a... like a low cut top.
Yeah, she just kind of goes from like full femme,
like skinny jeans,
hot to like biker hot. Like she just wears some black.
Exactly. She ditches that dress and puts on like a biker outfit.
And then they put Reese Witherspoon in like a down home country girl dress with some tons of cleavage. Yeah. And we're still supposed to buy she's ugly. Like still.
Yeah, they're still like, ugh.
They're still like, oh, this looks terrible because you're a boy and you have a mustache.
Yeah.
They do make the joke when she refers to the TV. Reese is like, you just look like yourself even harder. Like you look like yourself in the picture because she's wearing black at the time, which I thought was funny.
It is funny. But this is sort of the first moment where also something feels like something's up because on the news, they're saying that these two did something wrong. Like they're blaming them for the death of the police officer at the house.
Yeah, they're both on the run. And I'm confused because I'm like, what? Part of me is like, we wouldn't have a movie, but I'm just like, Reese, girl, just go back to the precinct, babe. Just like, go back.
Right. It is strange because after this scene is when she finally calls the precinct and she's like, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
Hi.
Coops. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem.
Yeah. And they send a police car to come pick them up and bring them back. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be the end of the movie because
That's what I thought. I said 80 minutes gone like that. Snap.
This is the end because the police are going to come and pick them up because also what's happened. No, nothing else has happened. So, but within 20 minutes,
they're on the way home. They're picked up. Safe.
Her two colleagues pick her up and Reese is shocked to see when she asks one of the police officers to give her a little fist bump.
Yeah, and she sees
one of them has the Longhorn tattoo.
The Longhorn wrist tattoo. Yeah. And that's what tips her off. And I guess she is actually a good cop. She's actually good at her job because she starts to put the pieces together. And she
pays attention to detail.
She does. She pays attention to detail. That's one thing we can't take away from her. And
although she didn't know what it was.
Nope. She had it upside down.
She's like, it's a melting snowman.
Yeah. I also watched that scene with my eyes closed. So I was like, she's correct. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, what?
Yeah. So she finds out, or she infers that
yes.
She infers that it's a stronger verb.
I think it's like a womanly thing. You know, it's just an instinct.
Her intuition. Yeah. Her gut.
Her
gut health. It's the new brain. So
that's very 2015.
Yeah. Gut health.
I was hitting gut health in 2015, by the way.
You were ahead of that curve.
I was so ahead of that curve. I was chugging celery juice in 2015. And all you are fucking doing it now, you stupid idiots.
Okay. So,
she's like, they're going to kill us.
To get out.
Like, we got to get out of this car.
Yeah. And what's the one way for men to get so grossed out that they won't even ask any more questions?
I can't even say it out loud.
They don't either. They speak in code.
You have to speak in euphemism. There's no other way.
Yeah.
And the accent is tough to hear on this dialogue. It's really tough.
Like a snake, it's time for both of these women to shed their skin. Okay? That's what's happening. That's what they say. That's what they say.
I cannot believe you just said that.
That's what they say in the movie.
I didn't. Eyes were closed. So were my ears.
Okay.
They're in the backseat of the car, and they're like, we got to get out. And they have to make these men super uncomfortable. How are we going to do that? She needs a bathroom. Like, you get it.
Yeah. You either get it or you don't.
And if you don't, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. But these guys get it.
They get it. They get it hard, and they're disgusted.
They're disgusted.
They're absolutely just. He goes, "Can you hold it in?" No.
So funny. Because
Hilarious.
Frankie doesn't get it.
I love spreading that misinformation, by the way. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, let men think you can.
Yeah.
It's funny for
but
me.
Sophia Vergara is like, no, like it's going to be a crime scene. It's going to be the second crime scene you clean up.
The second crime scene you clean up is about to be in the backseat of your car.
Oh, so funny.
Hilarious.
So they get out and they escort them to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're in there, they're planning their escape. And
it's a teeny tiny window, pretty high up. And Reese is
pretty
small.
high up, but like not prohibitively high up.
No, not even close. You could very easily boost him.
This is where it is a little bit confusing in terms of Reese's, physical acumen as a police officer, because based on her love for the profession, you would sort of expect her to be like Jodie Foster at the beginning of like Silence of the Lambs, like running through the forest every day to like get her steps in. So it is a little bit strange that she doesn't have the body strength to climb through the window.
Well, that's why
it doesn't make any sense.
You weren't listening. Her arms are skinny. Sorry.
I know they keep saying that.
They keep saying it.
But she's being thrusted out. Like her arms really have nothing to do with it. So
yeah, this sequence is tough for me because it's like, you're right, it's not prohibitively high, and it is going to be about how funny it's going to be to see them get out.
Yeah, it's so funny because like these two women, it's like, how many does it take to get screw in a light bulb?
Yeah.
It's like, how many does it take to get through this opening?
Yeah. And
even if they get Reese through, they haven't really thought out like how we're going to get Sophia through, because then Reese is going to be on the other side. She's 4'2" last time I checked.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be able to help.
Yeah.
So then Reese has a really good idea. She's like, just wait, watch this.
Yeah.
She takes her gun out. I love warning shots.
Me too. I love a desk pop.
Yeah. And she fires a real bullet into the ceiling, which...
So I have an idea. Pop, pop.
So chaos ensues in the biker bar.
Yes.
And they're able to startle another patron who's using the bathroom to help them get out. Mm-hmm. And
because women need help.
after some physical hijinks, they're both able to get out.
They're out. Yeah. And I think that are they pretty quickly commandeering their next vehicle?
Well, they're commandeering the convertible again.
Oh, again. Okay. So it's still in the convertible.
But they drive for like a few miles, it seems, and then it breaks down.
Yeah, conks out. Because we had to ditch that car. It's just too much. It's too showy.
It's too showy, and we got to keep it spicy. We got to keep it interesting for the viewer. Mm-hmm. And now I'm struggling to think what the next scene was.
No, I know, because now it's getting really jumbled, because they do... Okay, I think this is the part where they wander into the back of a tractor, and it's Jim Gaffigan. And he drives them a little bit to his property. And Sophia's like,
they're in like a horse trailer.
Yeah, they're in a horse trailer. So that's their next little escape. This movie is just like a bunch of little like vignettes of like tiny little escapes.
Well,
she's trying to get 2 towns over in Texas.
Okay, exactly. That's what I was about to say.
2 towns.
What's confusing, right, is that it took them... Okay, I think what they're saying is that in the beginning, right, like at her police station, she's in Dallas already. So,
okay.
This
movie needs to come with a map.
Because what it seems like is that they're able to get to Sofia Vergara in a few hours, and then they're just driving her back for a few hours.
Yeah, so she can come testify. Mm-hmm.
But they get thrown all over the map of Texas.
Yes.
And you're right that when they're in the horse trailer and they're gonna try to find their way, hop, skip, and a jump to get back to Dallas. And
this
so
movie, no cell phones, no maps.
Yeah, no cell phones.
She does crush one early on. She's like, this is how you get tracked. And I have to respect a writer who will kill the cell phone in 2015. Good for you. Like the cell phone really takes a lot of the fun out of a picture like this.
Yeah.
So they stomp it out.
It also, I guess, is assuming that Reese doesn't have a cell phone. Right?
Yeah, because we never see her take hers out. But they do. They hop in the back of a horse trailer. God knows where he takes them. And
they're very trusting to get in.
Yeah, they have no choice. You know, they're kind of, they stick out like sore thumbs, by the way.
They're too hot.
They're literally tall and short, you know,
it's the worst combination.
Yeah, it's not PB&J, it's oil and vinegar, honestly. You know, they're not getting along at this point. And
well, yeah, exactly.
Sofia Vergara thinks she's going to sneak off, and she just takes that shoe trunk. She's been holding a trunk the whole time, by the way. Everyone at home needs to know.
Yeah.
And Reese is like, leave your shoes, girl. You know, don't be so shallow. Yeah. But Sophia tries to sneak off with the trunk, and that's when Jim Gaffigan comes into play, right? That's him, that comedian guy.
No, I didn't clock who the actor was, but you're right that like when they get out of the vehicle, of the horse trailer, and this part was sort of lost on me too. I don't think I was paying attention 100%, but he obviously is upset because there's two strangers, one hottie, one naughty, in the back. He puts his gun up to the naughty. And
Reese Witherspoon's the naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a gun pointed at her.
He's like he's ready to kill Reese Witherspoon. He's had it. He just met her and he's had it.
He's like, I'm calling the cops. And she's like, don't you dare.
Yeah. And then Sofia Vergara decides that she's gonna, again, if you can't talk about shedding your monthly skin to distract men, you know what you can do? You can talk about two girls being in love with each other. Yeah. That's also very distracting.
So distracting. In my notes I just wrote lesbians.
Which is weird because not weird, but before
Are you saying lesbianism's weird?
No, what I'm saying is just a few scenes before, Sofia Vergara calls Reese Witherspoon Officer Lesbian.
Oh my God, she does. You're right.
When she first meets her.
Yeah. She's dropping a ton of describing words, and that's one of them.
Yeah. So it's if you didn't get it at this point, you don't get it.
Yeah. And Sophia's like, oh my God, sweetie. This is her big save.
This is when we see that. But but this is also the first scene that I think we're supposed to be like, oh, you know what? This kind of hottie with a bad attitude, she's kind of a girl's girl.
Yeah, she can play along when she needs to.
Yeah, she's a girl's girl.
She can save the day. This is the turning point. This might be the exact midpoint too. But yeah, Reese Witherspoon struggling to talk herself out of the situation.
Seems like it's been 40 minutes.
Feel longer.
Hard to tell though. Hard to tell with hot pursuit math.
Literally. I don't ever want to do hot pursuit math ever again. It's too long.
No, never.
It's like doing a hot pursuit plank. Kill me. I'd rather die.
Yeah, but basically they're able to distract him with their love connection.
That was so awkward for me, by the way. I was like, oh.
But then they're just able to escape. How they escape from him, honestly, I don't remember. But it's not like they don't kill him. I can tell you that. They just escape.
Yeah, they just kind of run away. This is where I'm really.
I think they run away and they grab a truck, right?
Then they grab the truck. So then they're commandeering another car.
Flatbed truck.
Yeah. So they went vintage truck, back of a horse tractor, new pickup truck.
Yeah, vintage car.
Yeah. And
not vintage truck.
Oh, sorry, it was a car. That's my bad, everyone at home. I'm copping to it now rather than apologizing next week. I'm not going to do that.
That's good. That's good though.
I'm showing a lot of growth that I can say sorry in the moment,
Wow. That's hot.
Okay, Paris Hilton.
No, it's hot like this movie. It's what that's.
Yeah.
You're always a woman. Okay. So they
get a truck.
They get a truck and they're driving over a bridge, and I forget why. Well, no. First, like, they have a little bonding moment, and they are talking to each other. And I think this is where Sofia Vergara says, like, you know what? That was actually fun. That was the first time I've had fun with you.
Yeah, I feel alive. We're also like starting to get backstory as we go. Like we're starting to find out that Sofia Vergara's brother was killed. You know, like we're jumbling up these scenes, but we're getting the backstory we need. And we find out Reese Witherspoon's father passed away in the line of duty. So she's like, you know, that's why she's going as hard as she's going.
Big shoes to fill. And I think like a lot of it gets dumped in this scene because you're right. Sofia Vergara shares that her brother was killed by this drug dealer.
Cortez.
Reese's father is dead. And Reese's like unsuccessful love life. It's like, it's like everything is shared. And it's almost like right when they're getting to the moment of, you know, just being real girlfriends, not in that way in the previous scene, just normal girlfriends.
Just friends. Yeah. Just friends who are girls.
I think they have to like I think they hit on the brakes for some reason and then like they hear a body like slam. Like a thud. This is a good reveal.
I thought this was funny. They find a man in the back seat.
They find a man, but like not a dead man. A man who's been.
I thought he was dead when they first showed him.
100%.
It's like he's dead.
They're like, oh God, like what have we gotten into now?
Yeah. Zoinks, you know?
Yeah. And
that energy.
The man who had been rattling around in the back of the truck for, I mean, when they got the truck, the sun was up. The sun's down. So he's been lying there for hours.
Because we had a lot of backstory to get through. So,
and then he, you know, the whole drive doesn't wake him up, but him slamming into the windshield in the back wakes him up.
Yeah, he's like passed out, right?
He's probably passed out. Yeah, I think they're definitely implying he's of low moral character because he. And again, part of this was a little bit confusing to me too because he recognizes them, right? He recognizes the two of them as the people from the news.
Oh, does he?
Right? I think so because the whole point of the scene is that he reveals that he's also a felon, like these two.
I know what it feels like. We're both running. He wants to be helpful very quickly, though. Like, he's not afraid, and he doesn't want to turn him in.
No. Like, once he finds out that they're on the lam, and he's like, I'm on the lam, too.
Yes. Yeah,
because,
spot on.
Because what also... Oh, I know what it is. He says that, like, because they drove him away from his property, he was on... like house arrest or something like that. He wasn't allowed to leave. Oh, yeah,
she's like, he's wearing an ankle monitor. She does say that. Okay.
So he says, because you guys have taken me out and you guys are felons, now I'm in trouble. We're all in the same boat. We need to help each other.
Yeah.
But it was weird because they had this energy, like they knew who they were. It was very quick to go from like, he's dead to we're going to work together.
We're going to work together while the movie is dumping in a little bit of sexual tension. Like they think he's hot. It's just like,
oh yeah.
The scene is doing a lot. Let's just say.
But it's like, what's really funny is that like, you know, it's like in Grand Theft Auto when you're playing that game, it's like the more people you run over, the more the police are after you, right? Like
it's just piling on. Yeah.
So his logic of let's just get all the felons in a clown car and we'll have less of a chance of being pulled over is funny. He's like, they're looking for me individually and they're looking for the two of you. Yeah. But if there's the three of us, no one's gonna know.
I'm shocked beyond belief. He's like, I can get us a hotel room. I'm like, you're on the run. And
and like, I don't remember. He does get them the room. I don't remember if they cut. I think
they just cut right to the hotel room.
They do, but I was going to also say, don't they also cut his ankle bracelet off or no?
Oh.
Sofia Vergara threatens to amputate his leg to get rid of the... But either way, if they don't cut it off or if they do cut it off, either way, it's become clear to whoever's monitoring his account that he's not where he says he is.
Yeah, because I think Reese says this is how they'll track us with this too. So I think they do have the...
Yeah, but even I knew that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I saw Lindsay Lohan wear one of those in 2004. Yeah. I know what that is.
But they do, you're right that they then cut, different use of the word cut, to a hotel room that he has managed to secure.
Shocking. I'm like, how did all three of them get past the front desk?
Yeah. The
movie's just like, just trust us here. Just trust us.
They do trust, yeah. And while they're in the hotel room, Sofia Vergara, takes from the minibar, and Reese has a fit over that.
Don't you know that costs a lot of money?
Yeah, don't you know how much that is? And she chains her to the bed with her handcuffs.
Yeah.
And then, in a real jump, she opens the door to his room, and she sees his body.
Yeah, he's naked. Because you definitely walk around your hotel room butt naked.
With total... In a room where you have the shared door.
Yeah, the connector.
Connecting door. And he's really unfazed by it. And I'm like, the movie plays it off like he's supposed to be really charming. Like, this is supposed to be like a second meet cute almost for the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's very jarring.
It's very weird. This movie is only aged 2015 because it's like, you walk into that and if he's a good guy, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you're seeing like some indication of like.
No, he's like into it.
He's so into it. He's like, you like this too, right? And she does.
She does like it. And she's like, I need some sustenance for my blood sugar.
You need to go get me dinner now. And he's like, I will take you on a date.
That's not what I asked. So then they agreed to, I guess, go on like a little dinner. But by the time they walk back into the other room, which is 4 feet away, I think Sofia Vergara has. Yeah. This is when she pulls the gun.
Sofia Vergara pulls the gun on them, and she's like, Reese is like, when did you get that? My gun. And Sophia's like, during that hug, bitch, because they do hug.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is like another point in the column of like, maybe she's actually really bad at being a police officer.
I love when we keep these kind of tallies. It really helps me out.
It's like one point in that column.
Also, we're kind of like, they didn't do a good job of this at all, but Sophia does end up kind of being a little bit of a bad guy in that she is trying to avenge her brother and kill Cortez. We don't know this, but she's turning baddie too, kind of.
Yeah, because what is interesting, right, is that her husband, who has now been dead since the first scene,
first frames,
was the one who had the information to testify. So we're left to assume that she has nothing to offer the investigation.
She
wasn't going to testify, right? So like it's a little bit confusing as to why they are trying to get her to the courthouse, because it's almost like if you and your sister, it's almost like if your sister witnessed a violent crime and then you were going to go with her for like emotional support, and then your sister dies. The court would not say, Chanel, why don't you come in and tell us?
You need to come tell us. I know, because I guess the whole time we're just supposed to think like Sofia Vergara's character knows more.
Oh, for sure.
And we're supposed to think that. It's just an assumption.
And I think that we're supposed to be informed by that in the one scene where she does show off all of her shoes, and it becomes very clear that her shoes are worth multi-million dollars because they're covered in diamonds. I think we're supposed to be then, because then she plays like the dumb, like, I have no idea how I got them.
Yeah.
I think
and the car of Coke. Like, she knew about that.
Baking
soda.
What? I was baking powder.
I'm going to kill you. I'm actually going to kill you because you really just threw me there. That was like when we signed on this morning and you go, this movie's so good. And I panicked.
I could see it. You were like, yeah, it was like kind of interesting.
Guys at home.
I was like, no, girl. Like,
I feel like I definitely grew up in a family where like you kind of had to agree, right? Let's just say that. So you being like, this is so good. I was like, oh no. Like I was like, yeah, it was good. It was tough for me.
And then I was like, no, it's okay. Like it was
Sophia has pulled a gun on
Mrs. Vergara.
Mrs. Vergara has pulled a gun on Reese Witherspoon, and I think this is our lady fight. This is our fun fight.
Yeah, I think so.
Girl on girl fight.
I think so.
What did I write there? Someone said, get off, hillbilly, which I'm pretty sure was Sophia.
I'm sure she did. I'm trying to think what happens.
The fight is like fruitless. I mean, nobody dies. The gun sort of gets thrown away. But the important part is they end up in the front of the lobby of the hotel. And Sophia's like, I want to get on your bus. Because this is the final vehicle.
Yeah.
The senior tour bus.
Right. They do hitch ride on the bus, but what I'm trying to think is, and it doesn't matter actually, but I can't. What happens to the guy?
I know he just kind of falls by the wayside.
It doesn't matter.
He's just a little point A to B guy. That's it. Until the end.
Oh, you know what happens, right? Isn't it? He's the one who causes the distraction so that they can leave because those two guys come back and start shooting again
on their tail.
The other bad police officers, those two rotten eggs.
Yeah,
they are back.
Spoil the whole bunch.
He's able to fend them off for a little bit, and that's how they escape. And then, okay, got it. Because I was just trying to remember how we lost him.
Yeah, we lose him for like a hot sec, on the hot pursuit. And I guess it is a pursuit movie, you know, because we are moving. We're in motion, constant.
Yeah. Yeah, but they keep saying, like, a lot in the movie, like, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., you need to be in Dallas. And it just feels like we've had many nights. Like, we've
had too many sundowns. And also, where is Dallas in reference to right here?
Yeah, I would have loved kind of like a zoom out just to, like, get a little map just to see where we are. Because it's like, or even just, like, throw me some street signs just to see, like,
show me we're getting close. Show me
Cleveland, 39 miles.
I want to see somebody walk into the game and it's like, what game? We're in Dallas. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Give me like a little clue. But they both weasel their way onto the senior citizens tour guide bus.
Yeah, which from the outside, it looks like it's kind of like a rock band, like, tour bus.
Yeah, a little funny, little like 1-2 punch for us because we're like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and then it's
they joke. Both like flirt their way. Sophia Vergara effortlessly flirts
easily.
What's her name? Reese Witherspoon.
What's her name?
You know, it's tough.
Coop.
But she manages to get on there.
She has to work harder to get on. She definitely has to work harder.
She has to work harder, but at least she's trying. Okay, at least she's trying. And we find out that it's a senior citizen tour of Texas. But what's weird is that when they get on the bus, right? Okay, so before they get on the bus, Reese Witherspoon is trying to get a cab to take them to Dallas.
Yeah, and Sophia's like, not going there. I'm going to a quinceañera, bitch.
Yeah, but so Sofia Vergara gets on the bus, then Reese Witherspoon gets on the bus, and then as soon as Reese sits next to her, she goes, when this bus gets to Dallas, I was like, what? How do you know it's going to Dallas? She's like, we are getting off in Dallas.
I love movies. I just love when a movie does that.
But it was kind of the perfect line because it really just like cuts through any questions. It's like, no, the bus will be going to Dallas.
We know you had questions, and I'm here to say, shut up.
Yeah, because like it wasn't the bus they thought they were getting on. And because of that, they have no idea where it's going. But she's just going to speak it into existence that this bus is going to Dallas. And there's no questions asked.
Yeah, you better not have any.
No. They better not have any questions. And they have a great seat right up in the front, although they don't even bother to put their headsets on so they can hear the tour.
Oh, yes. I forgot. There was like a sight gag there with their fighting, and then the tour bus people have whiplash from following it.
Yeah, these older people who are just trying to have a good time, they can't keep up. But it is funny a little bit, I guess. And
I guess
somewhere on the road, once again, their plan is foiled because as they're driving, or as they're passengers, I would say, the two crooked cops, these two sickos, catch up to them, and they just start opening fire on the bus.
Oh, the bus.
Do they kill the bus driver? I can't remember.
No,
they don't. They just
no more deaths.
They injure him a little bit, and then Reese accidentally pushes like the button that like opens the door.
Yeah,
and he falls out.
Yeah, he just gets tossed on the side of the road.
And then Reese is like, "Oh, I'll drive.
But guess what?
She's 4'2",
too short,
and she doesn't reach the pedals. So because of the orientation of their
God.
handcuffs, Sofia Vergara has to sit, and Reese is going to hold the wheel on her lap.
Oh my God, this movie.
Fun.
It's insulting.
That's fun. And I think they're able to successfully kind of like, they end up running them off the road, and like they're successful, and they're able to bring the bus to a stop. And it's like this, for once, these two have done something successfully.
Yeah,
and for once. And Reese is just trying to take one moment to celebrate a win.
Mm-hmm. Girl could use it.
A girl could use a little pick-me-up. And Sofia Vergara punches her in the face. Which I didn't laugh at that scene like a LOL, but I did give it a like a
It's as close as you're gonna get.
I was like, no way. I got like a little bit of like a duck noise, like a, you know, that kind of a laugh.
He punches her in the face.
She punches her right in the face.
It was so confusing. The screen goes black, like just
black, like dead. Like she's dead.
And I was like, is the movie over? Like,
fortunately not.
Minute 70. Is the movie over?
Yeah. And she wakes up, and I guess not a lot of time has passed because she walks outside. She's fine. No bruise.
Yeah.
And she sees that Sofia Vergara is talking to the other two guys from the original house.
Yep. She was in cahoots.
Yeah. And now it becomes clear, as Sofia Vergara reveals to her in the scene, that she had hired these two fellas to kidnap her so that she could escape from her husband and avenge her brother's death on her own.
Yeah, they were supposed to take me away. Almost like Reese Witherspoon messed up the whole thing by coming.
She did.
She really, really did.
No, she did. Like, she did.
She actually did.
No. Like, she messed it up.
All her fault.
All her fault.
Like,
and like
shotgun.
Reese doesn't get it. Reese doesn't really get it.
No, she's slow on the uptake. One tally for not a good cop.
No, because she's like, why would you want them to do that? And like, I don't get it. Like, I helped you.
Like, wait, what?
And I will say, like, this was a pretty good scene because Sofia Vergara kind of drops the shtick and like gives us a little bit of like real acting.
It's real.
Here.
It's like some realness. Finally,
and she's like, listen, like, I don't even know you. You weren't helpful to me. Like, I'm leaving now. Like, we're done. We're not friends. We're nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to avenge my brother. You know about this. I gotta go. Like, and you messed up the plan.
And like, if you're following the timetable of the movie, she's really only known her for like 12 hours.
It really is shocking when a movie can manage to jumble up time for me like this. It's like, it felt like 4 days.
But they've had like 2 sleeps, so it is a little bit confusing.
No, you're right. You're right when you said it was 12 hours. I don't even think they've had one sleep.
It's supposed to. Yeah.
It's like the next day. It's literally because they're.
It's literally the next day.
She's still on time to testify if she wants. This is what they're implying.
Yeah, because I think like the only night that's happened was the night at the hotel with the guy.
Yep, one sleep.
Right? Yeah, so she's known her for less. Let's call it like we see it. Less than 24 hours.
Less than 24.
To be generous.
Yeah.
And she's like, lady, enough. Like, I'm done. I've had it. And I think in like a reverse turnabout, she ends up like handcuffing her to a pole or something like that. Like Sofia Vergara handcuffs her or something like that to keep her stuck there. And I'm gonna have to
just take your word for that. My eyes were closed again.
Well, there's some reason why she can't follow her.
Yeah.
And the police come, and I guess we find out that Reese Witherspoon they find out that she did nothing wrong, I guess, once they hear the story of what happened.
Yeah.
But because all she has to do is really explain what happened, and then they let her off, which is strange because then we find out later on in the movie that all these people are in cahoots with the drug dealer. So it's weird, right? Because
great police work in this movie.
Well,
don't show this at the Academy is all I gotta say.
Well, the people that let her off right, at the police station, are the same people that are then so mad that she shows up to the quinceañera at the end.
Yeah, they're kind of just like, you did a good job, girly. Thank you so much. Go back to your life and no more. Please, God, no more.
Please, no
like,
more.
You've done enough damage. Like, please, no more. And Reese is like, she's got her father in her, you know?
Yeah, she's got that father energy.
She's got that spark.
Big Daddy Cobb energy. And she's
like, I now am endeared to Sofia Vergara so much, I can't have her kill somebody. She'll go to jail.
Yeah.
So it becomes about protecting her new friend. She's like, I can't have her kill Cortez.
And all it takes is her boss going, and don't you go to that quinceañera.
Don't you dare go to that party.
She's like, we've got it.
Cut to.
Like, cut to. She goes.
And it's a sight gag for the ages, you know. Put this one in the history books.
It is. Okay, but like this is the first time where I was like, okay, like this, pick a lane. Like, are we gonna go silly? Because we could have gone silly the whole time.
They went silly.
Her man costume at the quinceañera is objectively funny. It's objectively funny. And like her being patted down is hilarious. HIL, spell the rest of the word, hilarious.
Hilarious. And when Sophia sees her, she calls her Jose Bieber. Great. Perfect.
Funny. And
loved the quinceañera scenes.
I just thought it was so funny. And like finally. But you're right. She's there to protect Sofia Vergara. Because she's like, listen. Well, she doesn't say that yet, but basically Sofia Vergara is like, I'm here, see you later. And Sofia Vergara tries to get a minute alone with the head drug dealer, because what we also forgot to mention is because neither Sofia Vergara or her dead husband were able to testify, they had to release him because they had no evidence against him. Yeah,
so he's running free. He's at a party.
So he's free to go to this quinceañera. And they give it like the My Super Sweet 16 treatment.
I was gonna say I was getting My Super Sweet 16 vibes, and I was down.
But like, again, pick a lane. Like, give us a really, really bad choreographed dance. Don't give us
it was
like
good. It had budget.
It wasn't bad enough to like laugh at it. It was weird.
No, it was just like, it was like what you could accomplish with some money and some cool outfits with your friends. But you're right. Like, I want full silly.
Yeah, or give me like full glam, like, wow.
Or over the top, My Super Sweet 16, daddy paid for this. Like,
yeah, like if you do it so well that it distracts Reese Witherspoon to the point where she like loses focus.
Yeah.
It was just weird because they kept cutting to it, but it wasn't engaging enough to warrant like.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to ensue like chaotic cutting to be like, wow, Reese is having a hard time finding her spot. But she finds her.
No, I agree.
She finds her. She finds Sophia. And she's like, I can't let you kill this man.
Yeah, it's strange. Well, I guess Reese Witherspoon's argument is you can't kill him because he's basically an innocent person and you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, not on my watch.
Which you don't really get a life sentence. It's probably like 45 years. So what she's saying is you're old to begin with. So with an additional 45, you're never going to make it out.
Yeah.
And
we needed you to lawyer that for us. Thank you.
And Sofia Vergara is like, I don't care. Like, A, I don't really know you. And B,
Reminder.
I don't care. I don't care. She's like, I literally don't care.
Yeah.
And there's like a tussle a little bit where I'm trying to remember like exactly the choreography of the scene.
Yeah. There's enough of a tussle that they're kind of in that three-way gun pointy thing where it's like Sophia's got the gun on Cortez and Reese Witherspoon has the gun on Sophia, being like, don't you dare.
Exactly. And
classic movie setup.
Classic, but then I think they're basically in a position where they've all decided to drop their guns or something like that. And at a drug dealer
had a little pocket gun, a little teeny tiny
pocket gun, and when he raises it, I think at Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, that's when
she shoots him dead.
That's when Reese has cause to kill at point blank range.
No consequences.
No consequences. Nothing.
She just lights him up.
In fact, the woman in the jumpsuit at the end is Sofia Vergara.
Which was a shock.
It was shocking.
It was a real shock why she was doing prison time.
Obstructing justice. That's it.
That was so shocking.
That was shocking. I was like, if anyone should be in jail or lose their license, like
It's her.
It's
Reese not Witherspoon. Her. The other girl.
She kills a man.
Although I will say this. Okay, that's basically the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie, guys. We're done. But, I'm not going through this anymore for you.
Okay, but I will just say one scene that we I just have to mention it. It's really quick.
Okay, is it the taser?
No. When Reese Witherspoon is still dressed as a boy, she encourages Sofia Vergara not to kill, but she says, if you do go and meet with him, wear a wire and just get him to say, you killed my brother. And then that's it. He'll be in jail for the rest of his life. But Sofia Vergara knows he's never going to go to jail. But she does.
The wire scene.
She does make her put the wire in. So we have Reese Witherspoon on the ground looking up the women's stall dressed as a boy.
Yeah.
Being like,
put it in your chest area. No, shove it up here. Classic.
And that's when another woman walks in and catches her and calls her a pervert and throws her out.
This was frightening for me. We don't need to add to the rhetoric that people are sneaking into the women's room. The rhetoric? That people are sneaking into women's bathroom.
The rhetoric, Chanel.
Oh, really?
The rhetoric?
Pronunciation, no, right. It's spelled the same. Goddamn.
You're right. On a serious note.
It was scary for me. I was like, don't add to this, please, God.
Yeah. It doesn't help there. But anyway, that was just a small scene. Anyway,
it's a scene my grandma would have loved because we love a mistaken meaning scene.
Exactly. It's
shove it, push it, poke it, prod it in your boob,
bop it. So then, okay, so basically, she shoots him, she kills him. Sofia Vergara is pissed because she wanted to be the one to kill him, and I actually felt for her in this scene where it was like, if he was going to get shot anyway, just like let her do it.
Let her do it. Just lie.
I think the two of us can agree to say that I did it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Then it's premeditated. You got to lawyer it. You got to lawyer the situation.
Yeah, but just lie. And then, okay, so they basically argue about that until Sofia Vergara is like, you know what, I forgive you. And then they're okay with it. Mm-hmm. Then, in a real shock, the movie cuts to black.
This is like Gwyneth Paltrow being a pilot at the end of View from the Top.
Truly Gwyneth Paltrow pilot level shock. The movie then emerges from black. I thought the movie was over. Same. And we see Reese Witherspoon pulling up to a correctional facility. Uh-huh. And she's there to
pick up her gal pal. Pick up her friend.
I literally was like, what? Is she in jail?
The whole movie was like literally about keeping her from jail. And she went.
But like, yeah, you're right. Like the whole point of Reese Witherspoon being there, right, is to prevent her from killing him because that would have sent her to jail.
Literally.
Sofia Vergara did not kill him.
She's in jail.
Now she's in jail.
And they do have to just spit out why really quickly. She's like, I guess I was obstructing your justice. I was like, okay.
And I think the only way they're able to play it is that Sofia Vergara is not angry. If anything,
she's psyched. She's happy to be there.
She's happy to be there, and she's mad that she only got 3 months.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, I wish I had been there longer."
She's like, "Girl, I'm gonna miss you, girl. Don't forget toner and then sunscreen." And then the other woman is like, "Hey, hey, girl." Rough. She's like, "Hey, girl, one for the road," and she gives her a Perrier.
That was funny.
Sparkling water.
And she walks out, and she's made her prison uniform sexy with binder clips. We've all done it. And then we find out that for the first time in her entire life, Reese Witherspoon has broken a rule by stealing some of the evidence that was confiscated, which turns out to be like a few pairs of her shoes, which were covered in diamonds.
The outdoor ones, the indoor ones, and the corky ones.
Corky wedges.
And they get in the car, and Reese Witherspoon has a boyfriend who's also a felon.
Not just that, but when they cut to Reese opening the door to the car, we see that she's wearing high heels.
Click, clack, motherfuckers. Click, click.
She's done.
We get a tight shot on those shoes, and she's wearing evidence. She's wearing the boots.
She's hot.
She's hot now.
Basically. Confidence will do that to you. And
what's your title? In Pursuit of Hotness.
In Pursuit of Hot. Or In Pursuit of Being Hot.
Down. Changes the movie for me. Really changes the other framing.
Thing, right? It's sort of like those things where people like re-edit movie trailers and they're like, oh, I've re-edited Little Mermaid and now it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? Let's re-edit this and make it really violent and sexy. Like a sexy thriller. Okay. I bet, and like make it R.
Yeah, down.
Hotter and more pursuit.
My theory, totally making this up. This is 80 minutes because they cut all the R bits. I'm down. That's got to be it. Why else would this movie be 80 minutes?
Okay, I think you're right because it's PG-13 and they really toe the line of like you've got a little bit of everything. You've got some mild curse words. You have baking powder. You have some sexy outfit.
We're really towing
sexy
that line.
Outfits, but like nothing egregious.
Yeah, a little bit of nudity, but it's off camera.
Yeah, it's very close. So I think you're right. Like I guess they must have cut it to make it PG-13.
Yeah, that's my armchair theory.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because it is anything under 90 minutes is strange, right? To like have 90 minutes
it's odd.
Or less.
Yeah.
And especially when it's so close, right? Like they definitely wrote it as like an hour 30, hour 40. And I mean, not that I wanted it to be a minute longer.
No,
I
know.
I don't even know what I'm saying, but
I know. Worth mentioning, just to really like put a bow on it, she loses her reputation as Coop, the girl who tased somebody.
Yeah, now she's the girl that killed a drug dealer.
Now she killed Cortez, so now she's a murderer, and that makes and all is well at the precinct and in the world. And that's that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the end of the movie.
That's that. Oh yeah, people. Hard to tell if we recommend it. I guess do what I did. Do what Steven did. Go on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know if I would really recommend it. I'd be honest with you. Like, I would
listen to this episode.
I would recommend most of the movies we watch. This is tough to report, but it's like 4 Christmases. I think I'm good.
I think I'm good. Yeah. All right. Well, in the spirit of not dragging this physical podcast out any longer.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say goodbye.
Wow.